These kind of tasks are going to be automated by AI systems. Probably most of them will be automated, I would say 80%.
Hey guys, as you've seen at the Future of Work conference, data and artificial intelligence is playing an important role in our lives. How important is that? We are here to find out at the Uría-Recio Data Science Center. Head on up with me to find out more. What skill sets from the analytics side? Because the analytics are the ones that are determining a lot of artificial intelligence in the future. So where do you see the skills that are coming up?
There are three kinds of tasks, right? Among the jobs that we all do, there are three kinds of tasks. The first kind of task is repetitive tasks, and we have repetitive tasks in analytics as well. This is physical work, things that are very, very structured, easy to do. These kind of tasks are going to be automated by AI systems. Probably most of them will be automated, I would say 80%. Then we have a second category of tasks, which are quantitative tasks. Here is where we have the job of a data engineer, the job of a data scientist, the job of an accountant. Here, we will think that around half of these tasks will be automated by AI systems, and the other half will be still done by humans in the next maybe 10 to 20 years. And finally, we have a third category, which is cross-functional reasoning, leadership, creativity. These are tasks that will remain to be done mainly by humans, right? So what does it all mean for the future of jobs? What it means is that in the next 10, 20 years, we're going to see an increase in demand for quantitative reasoning tasks, data science, programming, blockchain, everything related to technology. We're going to see an increase of demand for leadership tasks, but we are going to see a decrease for all these repetitive and process-oriented tasks.
So which leads me to the next question. So how do the CXO level or the senior leadership level, especially their 40s, 50s, prepare for these quantitative skills, as well as areas of AI and data science?
I think senior leadership, and not only senior leadership, but all workers in general, have to change their mindset and understand that we are now in a lifelong learning environment. You have to learn since it's not like before. You went to university and you learned everything that you needed for your career. Now you have to learn for your whole life. Every time you have to learn new things. A friend of mine is 65 and he just finished a master in cryptocurrencies. And I think this is where we are going to be, senior leadership as well. Senior leadership probably will not have the time to take a master in cryptocurrencies, but they have to continuously keep themselves updated with what is happening in new technologies. There are a lot of learning platforms. There are a lot of publications. There are a lot of workshops where senior leadership can get updated. Right? And also, I think it's very important sometimes to change the mindset. Technology is making the workplace more dynamic. Decisions that involved in a corporation, a lot of syndications, decisions that require a lot of time to be made now have to be made very fast because there is more competition driven by technology. That is also going to change the mindset of senior leadership.
So you talked about online courses. How are you using that in your organization?
Yeah, so in my organization at this moment, I am using online courses to train around 300 people.
Okay.
100 of them have already graduated. We have an online learning platform. It's one of the main learning platforms, and we have a number of learning tracks. We have one for data science, another one for data engineering, another one for data analysts, and we have another one for non-technical business managers who require to know some AI, some blockchain in order to do their work, right? It has been very useful, it has been very successful, and we are planning to increase this platform. The other thing that I will say about how to use online learning is the paradigm about the approach is changing. In the old days, and by old days I mean maybe 5 years ago, when online learning started, people were focusing on having small degrees, small courses that were maybe 30 hours that you could do in 3 months or 4 months. That is changing. Now we are getting into micro capsules that are 5 minutes and are exactly what you need to learn what you require in your job for a particular task. So we are moving into a paradigm that is called 70-20-10. 10 is 10% of your learning is going to be in a classroom. 20 means 20% of your learning is going to be through collaboration with your colleagues, but 70% is going to be done on the job. And that requires to have all these microcapsules available in a platform so that when you need to learn something for a particular need that you have right now, you go to a video that is 5 minutes, you learn how to solve it, and then you do that.
One is online learning, but I also know that you're very active in the datathons.
Yeah.
And in one of our chat groups recently, in our Alumni Alliance chat groups, you mentioned that you want to train more of the younger force, and in particular women. And you're keen to equip them with better skills, drive more leadership and data science skills to the women as well. So are these data science or data hackathons that you are doing, is a mix only for men, or is it a combination of both?
Okay, there are a lot of questions here. So the datathons are hackathons for data enthusiasts.
Okay.
So there are hackathons where we give a number of participants, typically 100, 200, a number of questions that have to be solved with data. And among these participants, there is a winner, or some teams will win. We have been doing 3 of them. We have done one in Malaysia, one in Bangladesh, one in Sri Lanka, and we're going to do the second one in Malaysia in September. We had around 100 to 200 participants in each one of them. We do that, and I think corporations can do these kind of hackathons for 2 reasons. The first one is for hiring, because obviously you're going to be interacting with participants for a whole weekend. You will get to know them very well, they will know you, and you can hire some of the winners. And the second one is to energize and to upskill your organization. What we do is, in these hackathons or datathons, we have around I would say a percentage of participants who are external, but a large percentage of participants who are internal as well, and they interact with external people and they get energized and they learn about new things. So hackathons, I think, is a very good idea for corporations to upskill their workforce as well as to contribute to society. Now, what is the role of, or how do we use these datathons to encourage some minorities in the area of technology to be more active in technology, right? And I would think about 2 kinds of minorities that we don't typically see in technology departments in companies. One of them is probably women. The other one is probably older people, right? Now, when it comes to women, in the datathons that we have seen around 15% participation of women, which is low, and we want to increase that. We are going to do special preparation workshops for women that are going to help them to prepare the exam to be a participant in the datathon, because there is a pre-qualification exam. If you pass the exam, then you can go to the datathon. We're also going to do that probably with seniors, because the seniors have an experience in different areas, in marketing, in operations, and that is very valuable. If they get some data science skills or some statistics skills, that's going to be very, very well valuable for their companies. And these are 2 things that we are doing in that area.
Okay. What are the advantages in employing more women?
I think having minorities that are less represented in technology teams is very valuable. It's very valuable because people from different backgrounds, maybe non-technical backgrounds, maybe women, maybe older people, approach problems in a different way, right? For example, we have a senior person in my team who is a freelance professor, and we have an excellent experience with him. We had interns who came from medicine. They were medical doctors, and they interned with us in data science, and it was an amazing experience. And when it comes to women, I realized that there are three areas in which I particularly see them performing very, very, very well. The first one is multitasking. Right? Multitasking might not be always required to solve every kind of problem, but there are some problems that do require multitasking, and the women that have worked with me in technology have been particularly good in that. The other one I would say is probably the leadership approach that I have seen in women in my team is more cross-functional, which can be very good for certain kinds of problems and for certain kind of situations. And the third thing that I will say is that the women that have been working with me in my team have been particularly good contextualizing data-driven decisions with more qualitative information about the organization, the environment, how the decision-making process in an organization is, etc., which is also very valuable. I think having this kind of diversity, people who approach problems in very different ways, is very valuable for organizations, because as the pace of change is so fast and the variability of problems is changing so fast, you never know what is the best approach to solve a problem. When you have very different people, it's more likely that you're going to be successful.
So what are you doing to get more women on board?
So there are a number of things that we are doing and that can be done, right? And we are always trying to do new things. We have written articles about how the job of different female professionals is in our organization. There are a number of organizations that you can work with, and they have newsletters to send job offers and to communicate to women that are interested in technology. In particular, there is an organization that is called Girls in Tech, Women Who Code, She Loves Data. There are a number of them. The other thing that we have seen in some companies in the group is that once a woman is promoted to a management position, that really helps to get more women, not only in her team, but in other teams, because you are showing that career path, right? And you are empowering them to hire, etc. So that becomes also a very important lever.
Another thing that you mentioned during our conversation earlier was, you also said that there's a certain level. I mean, I don't say that 40, 50 are older people yet.
Yeah.
Between the 40 to 60, I think it's an age that we probably are a lot more rigid,
yeah,
and not open to learn. So what do you think we should do to encourage that?
Yeah. So that's very interesting. I think retaking the conversation or relinking the conversation with the previous question, I think women who are interested in technology, or young women who are now at university and are interested in technology, are not going to have any problem to get jobs in technology. I am more concerned about older people. And older people is not our grandparents. Older people is probably us in the next decade, right? One example is I know very competent people who were chief marketing officers, etc. in the career. And when they became 55, it was very difficult for them to remain employed, because they are less flexible, because they don't know so well the new technologies, and also because they are more expensive. So I think that upskilling mature workers who are probably 30, 40 becomes very important, and that should be a priority. Because there are going to be, as I was explaining before, the skills that are going to be relevant in the future are different. People will have to migrate from their current skills into new skills. That means learning, that means changing jobs. And these workforce migrations are not going to be easy for everyone.
So you're basically saying that we're moving away from a gender-based discrimination or a race gender-based discrimination to more of a age discrimination. Is that what's coming up with artificial intelligence?
I think so. I think in human history there have always been a bias or a negative bias from some human beings, right? We have seen throughout history discrimination against people from certain races or religions or genders, and that has been improving over time. But I think what artificial intelligence is going to do is going to increase the bias towards younger people rather than older people, and we are going to see this kind of discrimination more and more in the future.
Okay. I know Axiata is a GLC company, so there is a link to the universities here. Are you actually using any of those to actually bring more women, reach out to more women, and upskill them?
We're working with a number of universities, particularly with Asia School of Business. We are doing the datathons together with them. And we have participated in events with them. Yeah. Having said that, we don't have like a hiring program with any university in particular. We are hiring directly from the market. Regarding hiring, I would say In order to hire the best talent in analytics and in data science, the approach that corporations have needs to change. Using headhunters is not gonna differentiate you more. What I'm seeing more and more is companies that are investing in their brand, that are trying to become the reference employer in analytics or in data science, and that requires showing a career path to participants. That requires having a different mindset. That requires showing them that they can participate in the most critical decisions of the organization and showing the growth. Many companies traditionally compete on the initial salary for data scientists that is becoming higher and higher. I think what really matters is not the initial salary, is the growth.
Okay.
Many companies are making the mistake of paying them more initially, but then keeping it flat. I think what really matters is paying a competitive salary, but keeping that growth, which has to be higher than in the rest of the organization.
Okay, so let's look at some actionable items. Since we are actually talking about women in tech and elderly in tech, do you have a plan where you could actually help women? So say, for example, you create a program or a course that helps these women in maybe in 6 months down the line. You start with the program and you end with this thing. So if people want to reach out to you, is that something that you're open to?
I'm very, very interested in working with Malaysian companies or Malaysian institutions in everything that is related to upskilling the workforce in terms of AI, in terms of blockchain, in terms of technology. And I'm very happy to be in contact with anybody who is interested in this area as well.
So guys, you heard my conversation with Pedro. There's a lot to learn about artificial intelligence, data science, future of work, and so much more. At Alumni Alliance, we're constantly trying to bring these things to you. Look for information on the comment sections below and stay tuned for more videos.